Guess who, YouTube? It's your boy Red Chaos One, and I am back with another video. And this isn't just a normal video. If you've been following this channel long enough, you know this is a web novel book review. So I have another web novel book review, which has been requested by Firaxo Legenier, who I'm very thankful to for requesting this book. I'll tell you all about it later. But before I go into it, I should remind you that if you have anything that you want me to do, any content, it doesn't even have to be a book review, it just has to be anything. Please remember to leave anything, any request in the comments below. You can also leave what you thought about this video, anything you want to tell me. That would really help the channel. And if you do enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, because YouTube really likes it if the people who are watching your videos are subscribed to it, and it really helps grow the channel. So I'm very thankful. Now let's get on to the rest of the video. Alright, so let's get into our book. It's called V.I.R.A.L, and it is a book that falls under the superhero genre. And if you saw my other previous video called Superhero Books That I Recommend, if you do enjoy superhero books, I also do. I'm a big fan of the superhero genre. So if you enjoy superhero books, I'll leave a link in the description below to that video, and I hope you enjoy it as well. But let's get on to the review of this one. So, like I said before, this was requested by Firaxo Legenier, and this book is still ongoing, and it's been published on webnovel.com by an author called Nightfall Protocol, with around 287 chapters at the time of me making this video. So if you're sold on checking out this book, then you will be happy to know that it has 287 chapters worth of content. Like, that's a lot. I unfortunately was not able to read all of them when making this review. I reached to around chapter 53, but I'm sure that where I've reached has given me a decent enough understanding of the book in order to know much of where it's going, and in order to give you an informed idea of what I think about it. So I hope I hope this review will be very helpful to you viewers. So before we go further, we should go through the synopsis of the book. So let's begin. In a world full of superhumans with fantastical abilities, the idea of superheroes is seen as nothing more than childish dreams. The superheroes are instead streamers. People stream their crime-fighting ordeals for the world with the whole reason of getting rich and famous. Nothing more, nothing less. The concept of great power means great responsibility is thrown out the window for a new era of supers. Alton Brantley is one such person. Working two part-time jobs to make ends meet, he keeps his powers a secret, not wanting the burdens of his past to define him. This changes, however, when he is met by a larger-than-life girl, Zinnia. She dreams of being a real-life superhero like the ones of old. Forming Team Rhapsody, they begin to climb the ranks, gaining new allies in order to become the most famous streamers the world has ever seen. Alright, so first thing I gotta say, superhero streamers, unique and interesting concept that sets this book apart from your usual typical superhero setting. it's nice to see something that's rarely seen in superhero stories because I find it hard to imagine that in modern superhero stories there wouldn't be super streamers, as I like to call them, or vigilante streamers out to make a quick buck who are streaming to people in order to get famous. I'm shocked that this is the first book that's ever covered that I have come across. I'm sure the concept must have been explored or touched in somewhere else. If you know where that has been done, you can tell me in the comments, but I don't see that here. So the superhero streamers kind of tend to be jerks. Like when you first start reading the the book, the first ones you meet are jerks, but thankfully the author the author doesn't take a black and white mentality when it comes to this thing. There's no, oh, you're true evil because you're a streamer, or you're true good because you're against it. There are shades of gray in everyone and their actions, especially the main characters. And like, yeah, these streamer characters are definitely these streamers because I mean, when was the last time you heard of a superhero called Professor Understanding? That is clearly a YouTuber name or someone who you most likely find on TikTok. Another thing which I would like to say is Alton, one of the main characters. I like that one of his powers, I mean, liquid control. That's a power I rarely ever see explored in fiction. In fiction, if characters have a superpower, the thing that they usually get is the generic super strength, or if they have an elemental power, it's something that packs a real punch. Nothing like liquid control. And the way Alton uses his powers, he uses them in these cool, amazing ways that I guarantee you will like. There's a fight scene in chapter 2, which I'll have to say will give you a good introduction into how the author writes fight scenes. They write some of the best fight scenes that I have read in books, and I'm not just talking about web novels, I'm talking about in a lot of the books that I have read. So I'm gonna come to the characters last, mainly when talking about them. But another thing which I should mention is this book has an amazing villains gallery, with the Phantom Streamer being my favorite bad guy. Like, you just have to read the book in order to get to this character. Like, if you have watched My Hero Academia, or if you know something about My Hero Academia, I could describe the Phantom Streamer as a kind of evil Deku, an evil Deku done right. You will enjoy reading about this character. A pity that he's not that big of an overarching villain, but that doesn't mean that the other villains in the book, so far as I have read, are weak. All of the other villains are amazing. They are well written. They will be memorable. You will know about them. You will remember them after you're done reading them. They will grow a lot on you. And another thing which I have to be thankful for this book is it's fast paced, but not fast paced in the way that, say, something like Steampunk Apocalypse is, where everything kind of happens too fast. This is one of those books where I can say the author has a good grasp on good pacing, which I have to praise them for. Like, I mean, I'm also a writer of web fiction, and one of the things which I always struggle with is how do you pace your story? And this author has clearly found a way to properly pace their story where the story doesn't feel bogged down by too much filler, nor is it going too fast that you lose what's actually happening. So yeah, I've got to praise them on that. And yeah, now let's get to the characters. Let's begin with Alton. Alton is one of my favorites. When you meet him, He's still the same as to where I left the book in chapter 53, but I will say that he changes in a lot of ways. He's jaded and somewhat cynical, but he actually cares about his friends, and I enjoy seeing his character arc from when you meet him, this aloof, I don't care about doing the right thing kind of guy, but you can see that he genuinely cares about doing the right kind of thing, which contrasts him well with Zinnia, who's like this idealistic, wild, sweet girl who really wants to be a superhero so badly. And she has her own deep reasons. She isn't shallow or one dimensional. Like, if you're reading the first few chapters, you probably think, oh, she's just this Moe character who's just there to be wild and eccentric. But she has a reason to what she does, and it's a very deep reason, which leads to some interesting character interactions between her and Alton, who I can say they bounce off each other very well. Like, she helps Alton get less cynical and jaded, and he helps her get less too idealistic. Like, she's still idealistic, overly idealistic, but she's not too naive. Then you have Gale, my poor boy Gale. He just wants to do it for his grandmother. You have Percy and Vanguard, who I actually think were, you might not. I'm just mentioning names so you don't know them, but they're important characters, and I can say they. How can I properly put this? They are this brutal look at celebrity culture and fanboys. Like, wow, I wasn't expecting when I read this book that it would get that deep with Vanguard and just this brutal takedown of celebrity culture and over attachment to celebrities who you don't know. Like, I'm not gonna spoil for you much, but I recommend you read this book. If you don't like the superhero concept, I'm just saying, please continue reading the book just for this arc, the Vanguard arc. I'm not sure if it's called the Vanguard arc. I'm just calling it the Vanguard arc. But if you have read that part of the book, you know what I mean. Things get deep and dark there. And which is what I like, because the antagonists in this story aren't one dimensional bad guys. They have a reason for doing what they're doing. A reason which, even if you, the viewer, doesn't agree with them, it's kind of understandable. You will go and you think, oh, I mean, he or she kind of has a point. And yeah, if I were rating this book out of 10, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. This has been so far, out of all the requested to be reviewed books, the one that I have enjoyed the most. I am very thankful to Firaxel Jr. for requesting this one. I very much enjoyed it, and I recommend it for every one of you. It's a fun book. You will enjoy it. It gets dark at some areas, and it has extremely light-hearted areas. It basically hits every tone that it's just trying to hit perfectly. I really can't say anything bad about this book. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, that has been my review. So if you have any other thing, like I said, that you'd like me to do, please leave a comment in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like. You can subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. It really helps the channel, and I very much appreciate it. And there is also the link to the book V.I.R.A.L in the description below, and below it is a link, or links to my book, Phantom Ddraig. It's on 3 different web fiction platforms. Wattpad, RoyalRoad, and ScribbleHub. I very much be thankful if you check them out, and also check out the book Viral. You can also give its author some feedback. That really helps authors in what we do, and I'm sure they will be very much thankful. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can even share it to other people. It would really help the channel. Again, thank you for watching this far. This has been Red Chaos One signing off.